My fiancé said, "You're ruining months of planning over one sentence." I said, "It wasn't one sentence." Then I drove home alone, froze the wedding money, and boxed up her life in my townhouse. 3 days later, her mother was crying, their lawyer got very polite, and I still never raised my voice. Original post. I'm Evan, 35M. I work as an IT project manager for a logistics company. I make about $96,000 a year, and that matters here because for the last 9 months I had been paying for almost everything connected to our wedding. Not some things, most things. Venue deposits, photographer, DJ, florist retainer, menu meetings. The growing guest list. All of it was landing on my cards. My fiancée Rachel is 33. We'd been together a little over 2 years, engaged for 9 months, wedding scheduled for 11 weeks out. We were living in a townhouse I rented before I met her. Lease in my name. Utilities in my name. Rachel covered groceries and the smaller day-to-day stuff. I handled the heavier bills and, apparently, the privilege of financing my own replacement in decision-making. Because the real problem wasn't even Rachel by herself. It was Rachel plus her mother, Denise. Denise was everywhere: cake tasting, seating chart, dress fittings. Rachel told me I didn't need to attend, even though somehow Denise did. Even our honeymoon started turning into a conversation about whether we should stay close enough for Denise to reach us easily if family needed us. At first I tried to be reasonable. Weddings make people weird. Mothers get intense. Brides get emotional. I told myself it would settle down. It didn't. It just stopped being our wedding. Every conversation turned into some version of Denise wants. Denise thinks. Denise already invited these people. Denise says those colors look cheap. Denise says my side of the family doesn't need that many seats near the front. Denise says we should keep the spare bedroom open after the wedding because she may need to stay with us for a while if things with Rachel's dad got worse. That was the part that really stuck in my head. Not because I hated her mother. I didn't. But because Rachel never discussed any of this with me like a partner. She would just come home, say it like a decision had already been made, and expect me to absorb it. The final break happened at the menu meeting with the venue coordinator. I was already irritated because the guest list had somehow gone from 92 to 131. Mostly Denise's additions. Cousins, church people, friends Rachel barely talked to, people I was apparently expected to pay to feed in a suit while pretending I wanted them there. We were sitting at the venue going over entrees when I finally said I wasn't paying for strangers to eat chicken marsala in my name. Rachel went quiet. Denise looked offended. The coordinator suddenly found her clipboard fascinating. So I said calmly, "Rachel, we need to stop making decisions like your mother is the third person in this engagement." Denise did that dramatic inhale people do when they want the room to feel how injured they are. And Rachel looked right at me and said, "My mom comes first. Get used to it. Flat. Immediate. No hesitation at all." I stared at her for maybe 2 seconds and said, "Then marry her." I stood up, put cash on the table for my portion of lunch, thanked the coordinator for her time, and walked out. Rachel followed me into the parking lot furious. Then confused. Then panicked when she realized I wasn't doing the usual thing where I cool off, let her vent, and come back to keep the peace. She kept saying I was being dramatic, said I was humiliating her, said I was ruining months of planning over one sentence. That's when I told her it wasn't one sentence. It was every sentence before it. I drove home. She left with Denise. Once I got back to the townhouse, I did what calm people do when they're done. I handled logistics. I canceled the card authorization for the next venue payment. I emailed the photographer that the wedding was on hold pending written confirmation from both parties. I removed Rachel from the shared wedding spreadsheet. I changed the password on the household card I'd given her for wedding purchases. I transferred my paycheck out of the joint account we only used for wedding expenses. Then I boxed up the bridal magazines, sample favors, and fabric swatches that had taken over my dining room. Rachel texted me 43 times that night, angry first, then tearful, then angry again, Denise called 6 times. I responded once. The wedding is off. You and your mother can arrange pickup for your things this weekend. Bring a witness if that makes you comfortable. Then I put my phone on silent and slept better than I had in months. Update 1: It's been 4 days. 2 days after the menu meeting, Rachel came by with her older sister Mallory to collect clothes and personal things. I had everything packed in clear bins by the door. Winter clothes, shoes, toiletries, office stuff, neatly sorted, labeled. I wasn't trying to be cruel, I wasn't trying to humiliate her. I just wanted the transition finished. Rachel walked in expecting a screaming match. When she didn't get one, she got mean. She said I was punishing her over wedding stress. Said every bride leans on her mother. Said if I loved her, I'd understand that family comes first. I told her family should matter. That still doesn't mean your mother gets veto power over my marriage. Then Denise showed up. No invitation. No warning. Just appeared in my doorway already crying. Loud crying too. The kind that somehow never disturbs the lipstick. She said I was tearing apart a family. She said Rachel was emotional and didn't mean what she said. She said men who really love women don't keep score over one argument. I told her this wasn't a family yet. That was the point. We were not married. And hearing my future wife say her mother came first was useful information before I signed anything legally binding. That landed badly. Rachel pulled off the engagement ring, slammed it onto the entry table, and said if my pride mattered more than us, I could keep it. So I did. After they left, I put the ring in my safe and wrote down the time they were there, what they took, and what remained. It felt paranoid while I was doing it. It felt smart the next morning, because that's when the supporting cast showed up. A bridesmaid named Kelsey texted from an unknown number saying Rachel hadn't eaten in 2 days. Her cousin Brandon emailed me saying real men protect women from stress instead of causing it. Denise left me a voicemail saying her blood pressure had spiked dangerously because of what I'd done, and if anything happened to her, I'd have to live with it. I didn't respond. Rachel did send me one thing that almost made me laugh: a spreadsheet. An actual spreadsheet listing what she called shared wedding losses and what she thought I owed her because I had canceled the wedding unilaterally. Makeup trials, invitation samples, dress alterations, even Denise's hotel points from a venue tour weekend I never attended. At the bottom she wrote, "Since this was your decision, you need to do the honorable thing." That part was almost funny. Because according to my records, I had already spent $11,840 on the wedding, and Rachel's direct contribution was under $1,900. I didn't send my numbers back. Not yet. Instead, I exported every receipt, invoice, and payment confirmation into one folder. Then Rachel's dad called me that night, not to yell, to apologize. He sounded tired, deeply tired. He told me Denise had been running the whole thing and Rachel let her. Said he had hoped she'd grow out of it. Doesn't look like she did. That was the first moment I stopped wondering if I'd overreacted, so I changed the Townhouse code. Good thing I did. Because around 11:40 that same night, the camera caught Denise on my porch trying the old code twice while Rachel stood behind her with her arms crossed. I saved the footage. Update 2: Things escalated fast after I stopped responding. 3 days after the porch stunt, I got a voicemail from an attorney's office. Very polished, very confident. They said they represented Rachel in a matter involving financial damages and retained personal property. They wanted the engagement ring returned, certain wedding losses reimbursed, and supposedly withheld items transferred. I called a real attorney before I called them back. Best $2,400 I've spent in a while. She reviewed everything in one sitting. The receipts, the screenshots, Denise's voicemails, Rachel's spreadsheet, the porch footage, the call logs, the texts. She actually laughed once, not because any of it was funny, but because it was so transparent. Her advice was simple. Do not engage directly. Document everything. Return only clearly identified personal property. Let counsel handle the rest. So that's what I did. My attorney sent Rachel's lawyer an inventory of everything still in my townhouse, with photos. She also included proof that I had paid the overwhelming majority of the wedding costs and noted that Rachel had voluntarily surrendered the ring in front of a witness. The tone from their side changed fast. Very polite now. Then Rachel tried a different route. She called my office pretending to be my wife. I found out because my HR manager forwarded me the summary. Rachel had asked whether she was still listed on my emergency contact paperwork and whether she could pick up important insurance papers because we were reconciling. We were not reconciling. My HR manager shut that down immediately, forwarded the email trail to me, and added one dry line saying I should handle it. She also congratulated me on dodging something expensive. That went into the folder too. The same week, 2 police officers showed up at my townhouse over a property complaint. Rachel had claimed I was withholding antique china and family photos. The officers were polite. I was polite. I showed them the inventory list, photos of every box, and the email where my attorney had already asked Rachel's counsel to identify any sentimental property still outstanding. You know what Rachel had never actually done? Identify anything. One of the officers looked at the paperwork and told me it sounded civil, not criminal. Exactly. Then Denise emailed my boss late at night saying I was unstable, vindictive, and had financially trapped her daughter. My boss called me the next morning more confused than angry. I explained everything in about 90 seconds. He asked if I needed time off for legal meetings and told me to keep him updated if they showed up at the office. They did. Rachel and Denise came to my office lobby the following Monday around lunch. Security called upstairs. I went down because by then I wanted every interaction on camera and around witnesses. Rachel was dressed for sympathy. Neutral blouse, light makeup, sad eyes ready to go. She said she only wanted closure. That word again. Closure. Apparently closure means coming to your ex-fiancé's workplace after lawyers are already involved. I told security I did not want contact. Denise started talking over me, calling me cruel and calculating. Rachel started crying right on schedule. Security escorted both of them out. That afternoon, my attorney filed for a civil harassment protection order, not because I thought they were dangerous physically, because I was tired of the same performance moving from my porch to my office to the police. The weird part is that once I stopped entertaining chaos, my life got noticeably quieter. I started going back to the gym. I took my laptop to a coffee shop one Saturday and finished a certification I'd been putting off because wedding planning had swallowed every weekend. Last Friday, I had dinner with a woman named Natalie, a friend of a coworker. It was easy. No tests, no mother commentary. No power struggle, just dinner. I never told Rachel that. Didn't matter. 2 nights later, she texted from a new number, so that's why this was easy for you. I saved it, blocked it, added it to the folder. Final update, the hearing was yesterday. Rachel came dressed like someone trying very hard to be mistaken for reasonable. Denise came too, obviously, because boundaries apparently remain optional in that family, even inside a courthouse. Rachel's attorney opened with the soft version, said his client was emotional, embarrassed, and merely wanted closure and her personal effects returned. My attorney handed over the binder, a thick one, texts, doorbell screenshots, office emails, call logs, porch footage timestamps, the false property complaint, the workplace visit. The new numbers after counsel had already told them not to contact me directly. The judge flipped through it for maybe 6 minutes. Longest 6 minutes of Rachel's life, probably. Then he started asking direct questions. Had Rachel gone to my office after being told not to contact me? Yes, but she tried to frame it as wanting to talk. Had she used alternate numbers after being blocked? That's when the crying started. Had Denise attempted to access my residence after the engagement ended? Denise tried to answer for her. The judge shut that down immediately. Order granted. 1 year. No direct contact. No third-party contact through family or friends. No workplace visits. No residence visits. Any communication about the remaining property goes through attorneys only. Rachel looked stunned. Denise looked offended on behalf of the whole concept of consequences. After court, Rachel's attorney asked whether I'd be willing to release the final 2 storage boxes. I said yes through counsel with a signed inventory receipt. That's it. That's all. Financially, I'm still out money. Around $8,700 once you count non-refundable deposits and legal fees. That stings. I'm not pretending it doesn't. But marrying into that would have cost a whole lot more than $8,700. 2 months from now, I'll barely remember the money. I would have remembered that marriage every morning. The upside is life has already moved on. I got promoted last week, senior project manager now. Better team. Better bonus structure. My townhouse feels like mine again too. Quiet, clean, no swatches. No bridal clutter. No future mother-in-law annex plan hiding behind the word family. And yes, Natalie and I are still seeing each other. Slowly. Like adults. Her mother has not attended a single date, which already puts us miles ahead. Biggest lesson in this whole mess. People always say watch how someone treats waiters, cashiers, strangers. That matters. But also watch how they let other people treat you. Watch what they excuse. Watch who gets authority over your peace. Rachel didn't just choose her mother. She expected me to live under that choice forever and call it love. I'm glad she said it before the wedding. If that would have been your breaking point too, tell me where you would have walked. And if you want more stories like this, like and subscribe for the next one.